So are you asking a completion date?
Where will they park?
Oh, where? I didn't hear where. I apologize. Well, with the bus stop out front, we're hoping that a lot of the individuals are more mobile, using not necessarily the car, but bikes, train, well, taking the bus to the train, and then hopefully walking to H Street. But in terms of parking,
Automobile owners, where will they park?
we don't know if
It's
we
for
don't
a
know if
niche
they're gonna
market.
be on those.
That's what, it's almost like it's for a niche market of who he wants to live in the building.
Are you open to a parking restriction for your rental units and your condos? Meaning that your residents, the prospective owners, cannot apply for residential parking permits? Your project is going to negatively affect parking, and parking is already a problem in that area. It's been it's been a long-standing issue. You have New Samaritan Church there, and there's just been a lot of contention between church members, existing residents, and clearly your project is going to add to the parking woes of that community.
Sure, I think we're open to it as it relates to phase one, the already existing project. I'd have to take that back to the investors. I mean, that's something that, it's a separate project, so I'd have to ask them. I can't really give that answer. But in terms of phase two, I think we're open to it. I think that's what I was saying to the gentleman earlier about when we go to the board. I think all those things are on the table. So definitely open to it.
And you do have parking spaces.
We do have five parking spots in the back of the existing phase.
You have, okay.
But it's confusing when we discuss both projects at the same time. I'm aware that he owns both of them, but if he has set amount of units for the other one, those parkings are going to go with that building. So we shouldn't say they can use and cross.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying that they use it. I'm
Because
just.
some people are taking notes, as commissioners, when we make our decision, we're thinking of all of those things, and I think it's unfair for us to have that at the back of our mind, because technically those parking spots are not for this building.
Question,
Yes.
has that been determined, meaning that the whole project is looking at 9 total spots, correct? 9 total residents, or there's 5 in the,
There's nine, there's 8, or nine in the phase one building, and there are 6 units in phase two.
And sadly, if it was combined as one, they would meet the 10 that, Ms. Ramsey mentioned. It's like,
Right.
on such a small street, technically, they're over the 10, but since they're separate projects, they're not required to do it.
Any other questions or concerns? Yes.
So it's 15 units total?
I get your point now.
Right.
I guess we should.
It's all about affordable
But
housing.
all I'm saying is 15 units, and then there are going to be 5 available parking spaces for
If you,
all of those potential
if you're
units.
looking at it as one project.
Yeah, okay. So just to put that into perspective, it's a third of the units will have 1 parking space, if you're thinking about it like that. Okay.
Are there any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I guess I'm just going to echo what John said. My concern is parking. We moved here a year ago, and parking is a battle. I'm coming towards that. I'm not even joking when I say that. I think if a developer is interested in building in Trinidad, they have to take responsibility in providing parking spaces. I mean, that's my biggest concern.
I mean,
we only have one car.
We would love to park it, because if I get to park it, that's more income, and so it makes it, again, easier for me to get a loan from the bank. But on this site, again, just to reiterate, there's no alley access at all. I mean, there's no space on this lot. I mean, I know it looks like there's a lot here, but that's actually public space. And so it's not owned by myself, but it's owned by the city. So if I could provide parking, I absolutely would. And with the liquor store and the carryout that is still there, the liquor store having been closed, I mean, I sat outside and watched the amount of people who come and park and sit there and drink or park illegally just to run in and get something. So I know we've talked to DDOT, and I don't want to say that we're adding, but I don't know if we're necessarily causing a detriment to the parking, because we're actually taking away a lot of the passive parking that is going to the carryout and the liquor store.
Mr. Thornton, here's what I'd like to suggest. I would like to suggest, you have your architects here, your principals, you're all here. I would like to ask you to go back. Every developer says they can't do this, oh my God, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. That's really not correct. Let's go back, tweak your project. We can ask that your case be continued for a reasonable amount of time. I'd like for you to come back to the commission and see if you can work into parking spaces. Because if you insist on asking this commission, to go forward with a letter of support, nothing personal, but I will vote against your project.
Sure, I mean, I think at this stage, in terms of the parking, I mean, there is no tweaking, because there's no physical way, and DDOT's not gonna let us put a curb cut, even if we wanted to have one spot.
I'd like to pair you with Office of Planning. They can help you with any issues to see, well, to see if there's an opportunity. And if you get a report from the Office of Planning and DDOT that it's just not possible when you come back to the commission, then so be it.
Well, so we have that already, so we can forward that to you. But in terms of a vote, I mean, we'd probably say that we're going on the 27th. We were supposed to be on October,
Okay, let's take the vote.
September. We were supposed to be on a September hearing, we were unable to get on the ANC here. And so tweaking it is a non-starter at this point, so I mean, it would be pointless for us to go back and come back again. So, I mean, if the outcome is negative, you know, it's negative, but there's no point in us taking another 4 to 5 years.
As the board of my single member district, the constituents in my single member district, I have to go along with them, and they were for this project, so I vote that we support Thornton Development project. I make a motion that we support Thornton Development.
I second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we support, the project as presented. I would offer a friendly amendment that we, ask the developer to, waive the parking requirements, for your future residents. Meaning that they foreclose, they will not be able, to own a car or park on any residential street, in or around the property.
So getting their residence parking.
No.
So I'm saying not to not get their residence
Yes.
parking.
Wait,
That's not thinking of the residents though.
Well, the neighborhood has to be zoned for residents, it's not zoned right now, is it zoned for residential parking?
It's known for that area, yeah.
For that area and Morse, I believe.
Commissioner Buggs, will you accept, we have to move on, ladies and gentlemen. Commissioner Buggs, do you accept the amendment?
Yes.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded that we support the project contingent upon, removing, parking, foreclosing on the ability of any of the residents to park in both projects. Are you ready for the question?
So I thought you were just talking about phase 2.
Oh, sorry, you already have parking.
Right.
For phase 2, okay, phase 2. Is everyone clear? Any discussion among commissioners? You ready for the question?
Yes.
Roll call,
I have a
quick
or
question,
a comment.
questions?
I think this unit is for a niche market, a young professional in terms of the price, the fact that they do not have parking, and when you look at the unit size in here, and I don't think it's a good deal for the neighborhood. That's my comment.
Thank you. Are you ready for the question? Roll call.
Yes.
Lewis,
No.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Blacknell,
No.
Henderson, no. Buggs,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, the motion passes with 4 commissioners in favor and 3 opposed.
Thank you for your time, Commissioners.
Thank you.
My office is above the carryout. If you ever need me, I'm usually there, so please stop by. Let the residents know.
Okay, let's see, Lieutenant Mejia here, no, we're gonna keep moving.
I'm not distracted.
Is Mr. Rose here or
No,
is
Mr.
he?
Rose is not here, but his team is.
Okay, you wanna come forward?
He's not here.
Note that there's a correction to the agenda, it should be Brook Rose and not Blake Rose.
Hi, good evening. First I'd like to thank you all for your time and letting us do this preliminary presentation on our project. This is project 411 New York Avenue, right at the entrance to Union Market, and right beside the new hotel that's being constructed right now, it's slated to be open by the end of the year. My name is Dennis Lee, and I'm with DB Lee Development. Also represent Brook Rose Development, who is my partner on this deal, a couple other things in the city. And we've got our team here tonight to present the project. We have David Belcher with BBGM, Meredith Moldenauer, the zoning consultant, Tom Hayes, Cultural DC, who is going to be one of the primary partners in this project. One of the more exciting pieces of this is the arts component that we're going to integrate with the hotel. The project is going to be a boutique hotel with 175, 185 rooms. It's going to be 11 stories tall, is what we're proposing, and with an arts component that will have studio space, it will have galleries, it will have an educational classroom, general meeting space which will be available to the artists, and we're going to integrate that into the hotel. So that we think is a huge benefit, exciting part of the project.
Speak up a little bit.
Sure. So Meredith, you want to start with the zoning, or you want David to start?
I'll just give a quick introduction. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Meredith Moldenauer. I've been before this commission before, and it's good to see everybody this evening. Obviously, I'm Land Use Council. This is a PUD. Tonight, we are not asking for a vote. Tonight is just an opportunity to walk you through the project. We have had our set-down hearing. The property is zoned CM1, and we are asking it to be converted to a C3C zone. This is the exact same zoning change for PUD that the hotel to the north of the site. This is consistent with the comprehensive plan and consistent with the overall small area plan for the Florida area market. We have, as I said, a team set down, and the zoning commission has agreed that this is obviously consistent with the area. At this point in time, what we want to do is we want to take time to have David walk through the project, and then we'll have Cultural DC walk through some of the great benefits, and then answer any questions, and then be here, we're gonna be able to come back next month and obviously ask for support.
Sorry if I block anybody's view, but I expected to have a better projection today, but that's okay. So I'm David Belcher with BBGM Architects. We're located here in Washington, D.C. We've been in D.C. for about 30 years, and we do a lot of hotel work here in town. So this hotel, which is actually located on New York Avenue, 411 New York Avenue, is adjacent to another hotel that we're actually designing. It's actually under construction right now. The site that we have here with Dennis and his group, on site right now there is an existing building. It looks like it's kind of a 4-story warehouse that's been added to and over the course of time. Union Market in this is just south of here, so to give you an idea of where we are. So this is the existing building. So when you're going out New York Avenue, whenever I drive it pretty fast, you usually go by without kind of noticing it at once. It currently houses art studios and a variety of other arts-related uses. One of the things we found when we started looking at the building is the building used to actually house a seed company called the Bulgiano Seed Company, which was a big seed company throughout this region and also in Baltimore. And they used to house seed. People would go here and buy their seeds to make their plants and things like that. So what we've also found is they added an addition on the 4th story, which we want to take off. Because what we're proposing is to actually keep the facade of the building and integrate it as part of our hotel. And this is just some of the details of the existing building that we're going to retain, clean up, and then use that to kind of inform some of the other stuff that we're doing on the new part. So what we did is we took the idea of a seed and we kind of played with it a little bit and said, so when you start with a seed, and then a seed germinates, and then it kind of grows into a large plant. So we kind of use that idea of 3 phases of the seed to kind of come up with this design as you see here. So this is the view when you're going out New York Avenue. You've got the existing building on the bottom right-hand side. That's the existing facade that we're going to retain and clean up. You've got a mast that goes up right behind that, which is kind of the seed germinating, and then it kind of branches over to the left side, which is the more dynamic new flower, so to speak. You'll notice that, you might not be able to see from far back, but we're using materials that kind of blend with the existing building, such as copper panels on the new part that blend with the copper panels that are nicely patina'd on the facade. This is just a view looking towards the west when you come in from New York Avenue. Kind of a preliminary view of the main entry as you pull off New York Avenue. This would be the main entrance to the hotel. And then this is a view of the street along New York Avenue as you walk down the street. Inside this particular, there'll be a restaurant on the ground floor. This is a view from above. If you're flying around like a bird, we have basically it's 10 floors of basically hotel use, and then there is an 11th floor restaurant, and then there's a pool deck on the roof.
How many feet total?
110 feet,
Thank you.
110. 130 is permitted under the PUD and we're at 110.
Just another view from the south. And then I won't spend too much time on the plan, but we have parking below grade for, I think it was 47 spaces, which also houses some back of house uses. This is our ground floor. We've got one existing curb cut that we're going to reuse off of New York Avenue. And on the ground floor, we've got the typical hotel stuff. You've got your lobby, your kitchens, your loading dock, your garage ramp. And we also have, you can start to see what we're calling the arts component, which we'll get into a little more detail. So along the alley, we're going to try to enliven the alley by putting some art studios along the alley to promote kind of use from the adjacent hotel through our alley space and then down to Union Market and back. Second floor is where the arts use really comes in. We've got a bunch of studios that will be rented to artists. Again, Cultural DC will touch on that program. We've got a classroom that's going to be geared towards neighborhood use that can be rented out or kind of donated out to neighbors. Studios, people can come and take classes, and the like. A gallery space,
Sculpture garden.
an outdoor sculpture garden that'll be accessible to anyone who goes around there. And then we typically go up to typical guest rooms. We're at 178 guest rooms right now. And then up to the 11th floor where we're going to have a restaurant and kitchen. There's a north terrace which will overlook New York Avenue and kind of has a great view of the shrine, the northeast. And then a nice terrace on the south which has another great view of the Capitol and which is over top of Union Market. And then we have our pool terrace which is up the level above that. Just a quick section here. And then we also have engaged a landscape architect to help us enliven all the ground plane and all the upper levels of the terraces and things like that. So we're going through some of the design on that. This is the outdoor sculpture terrace. The 11th floor up on the roof. And then this is just, we have put together some images for Dan, just gives an idea of some inspirational images. We're kind of going for this industrial kind of aesthetic, kind of go with the warehouse motif. And then this kind of represents kind of the art studios that we're going for in the lobby space. So that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh,
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, hold on, go ahead, hold on a second. One, I appreciate that you come to this commission, to share your preliminary vision for your project. It's refreshing, that's part of the component, I think it's great. I would ask Commissioner Lewis to make brief comments. I would ask colleagues to limit your comments when to give the public a brief opportunity to weigh in, and certainly we'd like a commitment from you to come back, because it sounds exciting, and I feel a lot more comfortable with the direction and scope of your project than I did with the last project. So I appreciate you coming.
We're not finished yet, I just,
We wanted to share a little bit on the arts component.
about the arts component, which is gonna be a large portion of the community benefit.
You're dying to ask a question.
Or it's not a question, it's a comment, because it's actually in my single member district. And I think we need to do a full-blown presentation for the community before you guys come back. So that's what I'm actually, going
Sounds
to
good.
suggest, is that in advance of next month, we'll hold a special meeting where you guys present and the actual SMD that it's going to affect and impact. We'll be able to say, we fully support this project, because it's really nice and it'll add to the community.
Thank you, I think that's appropriate. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone from the audience that wants to preliminarily weigh in? Yes, sir, very briefly.
I love it.
Thank you.
And he's not in that.
He's very good, very
Can
good.
we have some more of those?
Yeah.
Not
We
another
actually have a
Marriott,
resident
something
here.
unique, it gives that community identity, I think it's a good project, and I support it.
And that brings up a good
Sounds
point, if I may just, respond to that, is that you're right, this is not a Marriott Hilton, it's not a brand, it's actually a boutique hotel, independently run, so. And then one of the really exciting things is what, that they're gonna talk about with the arts component, which I'm pretty good.
This is obviously part of the PUD process for the community benefits, but I do wanna just have the commission and the public hear a little bit about that.
Very briefly.
So I'll be brief. I'm Tanya Hilton, I'm the Executive Director of the Cultural DC. Boy, are we excited about having a Center for Arts and Culture right in this hotel. Over 3,000 square feet will be dedicated to those 8 studios he showed you, which can accommodate more than 8 artists. And then, of course, we'll have the classroom, which will be like a hub for the community of all sorts of workshops and activities, etc. And in addition to that, we will have exhibition spaces for other activities, it could be filmmaking, it could be screen printing, I mean, so many things. And Cultural DC is uniquely positioned to be the partner in this organization, because I was just thinking back to 10 years ago when we got the Atlas, which is a thriving performing arts and community center now. Well, it's set vacant for like 25 years. And then we came in and we helped not only negotiate getting the mortgage freed up, but we helped put together the operating plan. We helped hire artists like Joy Emotion to be a tenant there. We helped bring in other artists, and that's what we plan to do here as well. And we have Monroe Street Market, if any of you are familiar with there, we have 27 artist studios there.
Just want to say preliminarily, I'll echo the sentiments of the gentleman, we love it. We hate to give you the bum's rush, but so far, you are on the right path. You are going in the direction that I think we are going in and the community is going in. I look forward to you presenting at Commissioner Lewis's citizen and coming back. And we promise we'll give you way more time to really share all the wonderful details. But anything that's gonna add an art component, I mean, what's not to love? So, thank you.
I mean, I just want to say,
And
50% below market.
All right. Very good, very good, very good. Very good. All right, thank you so much. And we promise that when you come back to the commission, you will have as much time as you need, and we'll give you the floor unfettered by
Is there
restricted.
any comments from commissioners that you can hear now, obviously, and maybe we can respond
Go
to?
for it, go for it.
And actually, I'm going to say this, it's really what the community wants. So, it's like, we decide overall, but I wanna hear what my residents want and then make a decision that way.
Could you invite the rest of the commissioners to that meeting?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you so much.
Just to add on to that, I have my hand raised. One suggestion I would make that we've talked about with New York Avenue a lot, and I'm sure that Commissioner Lewis has heard this as well, is considering maker spaces. projects actually sort of my day job is, and we've heard that a lot from folks with whether kids or older adults.
And makerspace will be a really important part, and that's another way to bring in
Thank
the
you.
community.
Thank
And
you.
we'll also have discounted memberships.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, a little housekeeping issue before we move on to Mr. Battle and his team to talk about this proposed. We know that this is an ambitious agenda, but one, make sure you get all this information. Mayor Bowser has made ending homelessness a cornerstone of her administration, and certainly that's a goal that I think every district resident can support, embrace, and just really move forward with. So I would ask I'll pass it along, there's a pledge, and I'll read it quickly. No, I'm not gonna read it. It's a pledge, essentially it's a pledge to end homelessness. Mayor Bowser is asking every ANC commissioner to sign it, and at this time, I would like to ask my colleagues to, like someone to make a motion that we support the pledge, that we take the pledge as a commission in support of a goal that will make our city better. Is there a motion? Okay, is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded that we support Mayor Bowser's pledge to end homelessness. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Please respond with aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Well, the motion passes.
Ooh, unanimous.
All right. Moving right along, Mr. Battle. Calling Mr. Battle and your team. Come on up here.
Dean, thank you for having us here. I'm Mark Battle, Petco, Vice President of the Petco Region. I'm joined today by my colleagues, Donna Cooper, as President of the Petco Region, in the back. Chris Taylor sitting all in the back, the Senior Public Affairs Manager for Petco. And Melissa Schraub, Melissa Schraub is here, Vice President of Corporate Affairs for Exelon. Since we've been here a couple of times to talk about the Petco merger, I'm not going to go into all the details, but a quick background is that in June of 2014, we filed an application for Petco and Exelon Corporation to merge. Over the next several months, we received approvals in Delaware, New Jersey, Maryland, FERC, as well as Virginia. The last jurisdiction to decide on the matter was the DC Public Service Commission, and the DC Public Service Commission determined that we hadn't shown that there was a customer benefit. And over several months, we also went around and spoke to many agencies, twice, and a lot of other parties who were involved in the case, Office of People's Counsel, District Government, AOBA, which is the Department Office Board Association, they did not support it at that time. So when we got the ruling from the commission, we took a hard look at it. We took a hard look at the commission recommended, the commission ordered, in fact. We took a hard look at what all the different parties had stated over the course of the months, and went back to the drawing table and just continued the conversation, the settlement conversations with the parties. So we're very happy to announce, the mayor announced last week, that we've reached a settlement agreement with the district government, with the Office of People's Counsel, with DC Water, with AOBA, with a couple of the nonprofit housing organizations, and that increases the customer benefit that we're proposing for the district from an initial investment of $14 million. It was $33 million when the commission saw it. Now it's up to $72.8 million. And what's really, really different about where we are now is not only do we have other parties on board, the People's Counsel is the statutory representative of all residential ratepayers, and AOBA represents much of the commercial community. But what's really important too is that when we proposed the initial $14 million and then even the $33 million, we indicated that we thought that investment should be up to the commission to determine how it was used. And because we didn't have any settlement partners, that made sense at that time. Since we have settlement partners, what we also do is really dig in and figure out from their comments and from the comments of the commission, how